During the third millennia, in a strange place known as the United States of America, a war was brewing. Brainwashed Marxist idiots in colleges across the nation clashed with equally brainwashed, anime-obsessed neo-Nazis. Starbucks windows were shattered, Dodge Challengers were totaled, and Muslims realized that rental vans were cheaper than plane tickets. Skinny, anemic millennials from coast to coast were hospitalized with life-changing injuries such as sprains and first-degree burns. And the heroic knights of 4chan rose up to defeat Shia LaBeouf and drive the evil villain into a descent towards a madness the likes from which he would never recover. As the enemies of freedom destroy the cities that raised them, as America begins to resemble an Iron Maiden album come to life, two heroes have risen up to fight against a culture of utter madness and restore sanity the only way they know how, by refusing to take any of it seriously. Mersh.
And I said, hey, oi, let's chop your penis off. Oi, can I have me penis back? Why do you have dreadlocks, you white oppressor?
Royce Lopez.
Always be aborting. A-always B-B aborting. Always be aborting.
Breaking news.
Breaking news,
You're
guys.
hearing it only on our show first. Apparently Donald Trump has worked out a deal. He will get the wall. Unfortunately, it's going to be a rock climbing wall.
Oh, no! The other side's going to be a slide. You climb the wall up and you just
lands into a nice, clean, chlorinated pool. And then you immediately get a welfare check. Fucking egg.
Oh, shit. He was a boy, he went to girl, now he wants to be a boy again.
Oh, God, just stay a girl if you're going to be this indecisive.
I think Caitlyn Jenner's a handsome woman with a great penis. Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with trannies. I just don't want to put that one's cock in my mouth.
Bound forever by their mutual love of smoking marijuana, Simpsons references and affection towards forces to bring you uncut news and opinions directly from the belly of the beast. Saving Western civilization one childish dick joke at a time, here they are, your new heroes of the Imperium, Mersh and Royce Lopez.
And who is that? Huh? It's your boys. That's right, Mersh and Royce. Hi. Another edition of Revenge of the Cis, America, nay, the world's fastest growing right-wing comedy podcast.
There's like two of them.
I know, and we're the best one, so shut up.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we got an exciting day for you today. It's going to be, this is, up until this point, the biggest show we've done. We've got breaking news.
It's all right, I guess.
We've got some exclusive news.
Meh.
And then we have future Senator Augustus Invictus joining us in the second hour. It's going to be,
I guess that's things.
It's going to be a big day, so I'm pretty excited. Also, I hate to jump right into it, but we do have to, we got to give props. James from Long Island did donate to our show today, and you guys know we have a new tradition here. So to you, James from Long Island, this is for you, sir.
Fear no danger, shun no labor, let the ride pop. You say we're to arms, to arms, to arms in Dixie. Send them back your fierce defiance, send upon the curse of life to arms, to arms, to arms in Dixie. Against the flag of Dixie, hoo-ah, hoo-ah. Dixie's land, we take our stand, to live and die for Dixie. To arms, and conquer peace for Dixie. To arms, and conquer peace for Dixie, Dixie to arms.
And to you, James from Long Island, we say thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Your thankless, tireless service to the cause. Yeah, so if you guys want, we're going to have revengeofthecis.com,
yes,
courtesy of Garrett from PolitiFeed. It's not up yet, but it will be up later this evening. So you can. We're going to do all our shilling in one place soon.
Yeah, it'll
Patreon,
be, yeah.
PayPal, all that, dog. It's all going to be up in there. So what's up with some news?
First thing that happened right before the show, Louie CK's movie premiere canceled in advance of the New York Times story.
a New York Times story about what a brilliant comedian he is, right?
I don't think that's why they would cancel a movie.
Or what a just amazing filmmaker.
Again, maybe, but I don't think that's why they would cancel a movie.
Oh, is it the locking girls in rooms and masturbating in front of them thing?
The "I Love You, Daddy" screening was abruptly axed. Bad name.
What a terrible name for a movie when you're in the middle of sexual misconduct allegations.
The "I Love You, Daddy" screening was abruptly axed just hours before it was set to take place. The New York premiere of Louie CK's upcoming film "I Love You, Daddy," set for Thursday, has been canceled. Reps for the premiere, due to take place at the Paris theater, cited unexpected circumstances. A source tells a Hollywood Reporter that a New York Times story on the comedian is about to break, and the premiere was canceled in case it's damaging. Oh, it's going to be damaging. Additionally, Louis C.K.'s planned appearance on CBS The Late Show with Stephen Colbert was also canceled, with William H. Macy taking his place. Oh, what?
Not you, William H. Macy.
After this story was originally published, the New York Times published an article by investigative reporter Jodi Kantor, who co-blinded the October 5th Harvey Weinstein story that included 5 women accusing CK of sexual misconduct. The comedian's publicist, Louie CK, responded to the New York Times article. Louis is not going to answer any questions at this time.
Really? He's not going to answer any questions about, locking multiple female comics allegedly in a room? Pulling out his little peener.
Here's the article. Louis C.K. crossed the line into sexual misconduct, 5 women say. In 2002, Chicago comedy duo Dana Min Goodman and Julie Wolof landed their big break, a chance to perform the U.S. Comedy Arts Festival in Aspen, Colorado. When Louis C.K. invited them to hang out in his hotel room for a nightcap after the late night show, they did not think twice. The bars were closed and they wanted to celebrate. He was a comedian they admire, and the women would be together. His intentions seemed cordial. As soon as they sat down in the room, still wrapped in their winter jackets and hats, Louis C.K. asked if he could take out his penis.
Well, at least he asked.
The woman said.
At least he asked. Right?
They thought it was a joke and they laughed it off. And then he really did it.
Did they say no, though? Because, let's get something straight here. Even if it's a joke, right? If I'm in a room and a guy goes, "Hey, you mind if I whip my dick out?" I'd be like, "Ha ha ha ha." But seriously, don't. Don't, though.
Ms. Goodman, in an interview, said with the New York Times, he proceeded to take all his clothes off and get completely naked and start masturbating. In 2003, Abby Shawner called Louis C.K. to invite him to one of her shows, and during the phone conversation, she said that she could hear him masturbating as they spoke.
You can hear it? How do you... Was he lubed up? Was it like a...
That one I'm going to say I don't know, because that's, I mean...
Because if you use too much lotion, it gets the...
Yeah.
It does that thing, maybe, or...
You've never gotten a phone call where you're jerking off? It happens.
Yeah, I mean, I've jerked off on the phone with girls, but, I really, I am a master at controlling my breathing, so it sounds like everything's cool.
Right.
It just sounds like I'm playing a video game, and I'm slightly distracted.
Another comedian, Rebecca Corey, said that while she was appearing with Louis C.K. on a television pilot in 2005...
Does he jerk off in front of any women that don't have these extremely Jewish names?
He asked if he could masturbate in front of her. She declined. Now, after years of substantiated rumors about Louis C.K. masturbating in front of associates, women are coming forward to describe what they experienced.
Why? Louis. Girls don't like to watch us jerk off. Let's do this.
Girls don't even like looking at her penises.
Looking at a guy jerking off. Like, if you ever jerked off in a bathroom and the mirror was in front of you, we look ridiculous. Like when a girl,
we look retarded.
Yeah, when a girl's down there doing, giving herself the business, it looks hot, But like guys are, dude, Louis, no, I would think by now you would understand that no woman wants a guy who's a 5. He's a 6 with a hit TV show and multiple Emmys. They don't want to watch you pull your peener out and go to town on it, bud. That's not how it works. That's literally worse than just... All right, ladies, we got ladies that listen. What's worse, getting an unsolicited dick pic or a guy actually jerking off in front of you? Because I feel like the picture, you could at least go like, shut that. Block that guy. So it's, I don't know, man. Louie, what are you doing, bud?
Even amid the current burst of sexual misconduct accusations against powerful men, the stories about Louis CK stand out because he has so few equals in comedy. In the years since the incidents, the women described he has sold out Madison Square Garden 8 times, created an Emmy-winning TV series, accumulated a cloud of Tastemaster and blah 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 with the help anyway. And Louis CK built a reputation as the unlikely conscience of the comedy scene by making audience laugh about hypocrisy, especially male hypocrisy.
He's not a voice of conscience. Like, he's a pretty brutal comic.
Yeah.
And all comics are very twisted people. And stop using his status as an excuse. Oh, well, he doesn't have many equals in the business. I featured for Doug Stanhope when he recorded one of his 57 albums.
Right.
And
was he wearing a coat that looked weird and a weird tie?
No, this was pre-Leisure Suit.
Okay.
Doug Stanhope, he was wearing like a Tommy Bahama shirt.
Okay.
Like, he still had no style whatsoever, but it was just like jeans and a flowered shirt. But when I got there, it was like a 400-seat theater, and they were like, dude, he's gonna be a host, an opener, and then you're the feature, and then boom, Doug's recording his album. I'm like, that's awesome. They summoned me. Brian is the Irish manager guy that he has. He was like, oh, Doug would like to speak to you. And I was like, all right. I went back there. He went over my notes to make sure we weren't stepping on each other's dicks, because he's recording an album. He doesn't want me to do a joke he's going to do in 10 minutes. He offered me his beer. He offered me some of his food. That was the end of it. At no point did Doug Stanhope pull his dick out and start whacking it.
Well, you're not that cute.
And Doug Stanhope was the biggest act we'd have in that town up until that point. It was Wilmington, North Carolina. The fact that Stanhope was even there was... But, I mean...
There's a difference between you and a chick, though. Let's be honest. Louis CK, I don't think he's going to jerk off in front of you.
My point being... Well, you never know.
He's not Charlie Sheen.
He doesn't sound like he's
we didn't talk
picky.
about that.
He jerked off in front of Tig Notaro, so, I mean, Jesus, how much worse could I be? And I mean, the point being is that if a female comic was working with Doug Stanton, we've never heard any stories.
No.
About him, or about Colin Quinn, or about Patrice O'Neal.
Brian Regan.
Yeah, so stop telling, it's because of his status. So you go, hey, you fucking piece of shit, put your dick away, you fucking weirdo.
After being contacted for an interview this week about the on-the-record accusations of sexual misconduct, encounters that took place over a decade ago, Louis CK's publicist said, Louis K. Okay, Louis CK, your publicist's name can't be Louis K. That makes it really hard and confusing. Said that the comedian would not respond. Louis is not going to answer any questions. Neither Louis CK nor Mr. K replied to the follow-up emails in which the accusations were laid out in detail, or to voice messages or text. On Thursday, the premiere of Louis CK's new movie, I Love You, Daddy, was abruptly canceled, as he also canceled the appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Well, I'm going to go on record and say that now that Louis CK is accused of doing terrible things, he's officially Mexican.
Yeah, wow, that's right. Hey, good for you. Congratulations, Louis. Hey.
The stories told by women raised sharp questions about Louis CK. He rose to fame in part by appearing to be candid about his flaws and sexual hang-ups and discussing and miming masturbation extensively in his act. All right, relax about what he does in his act. His act is not...
Yeah, let's start this shit.
This is where they go a little too far. An exaggerated riff that some of the women feel may have served as a cover for real misconduct. He has all but invited comparisons between his private life and his on-screen work, too, in I Love You, Daddy, which is scheduled to be... Man, again, bad title. Especially after
really
this,
is terrible.
which is scheduled
and
to
a
be
bad
released.
topic too for the movie, because it's about like a chick banging a 60-year-old director, and Louis her dad. It's all a little weird.
Which is scheduled to be released next week. A character pretends to masturbate at length in front of other people, and other characters appear to dismiss rumors of sexual perdition. At the same time, Louis CK has also boasted that boosted careers of women.
So this is Louis CK's Murder Was the Case that they gave me. It's like life imitating art.
And is sometimes viewed as a feminist by fans and critics. Louis C.K.'s never been viewed as a feminist. So it's never.
By idiots.
I guess, but whatever. But Miss Goodman and Miss Wolf said that then when they told others about the incident, in the Colorado hotel room, they heard that Louis C.K. His manager was upset that they were talking about it openly. The women feared career repercussions. Louis C.K.'s manager, Dave Becky, was adamant in an email that he never threatened anyone.
This is it's not looking good for you, Louis boy. It's sounding like this probably is pretty plausible at this point that this is happening. I believed it when it was coming out because only because the people that were rumbling about this 2 years ago were people that I knew from the comedy scene that I trusted very much. And they were like, oh, yeah, he does it. So,
a fifth woman who spoke on condition of anonymity to protect her family's privacy because she was not been publicly linked to the incident with Louis C.K., also has disturbing memories about an incident with the comedian in the late 90s. She was working in the production of the Chris Rock show with Louis C.K. A writer-producer there repeatedly asked her to watch him masturbate, she said. She was in her early 20s and went along with his request, but later questioned his behavior. Okay, that one doesn't count. He asked you, you said yes, and then later you questioned it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I get that, and I get your side of that, but there's also this issue of, look, if Louis is on tour...
This is 90s writer Louis, by the way, not fucking megastar Louis we're talking about, too.
But that's what I'm getting to. Now, if Louis headlining, right, and he's got some opener, and she's a female or whatever, and he's like, watch me jerk off, whatever, that's fine. But it's not fine, but it's less offensive.
It's great. It's wonderful.
Fine,
he should get a trophy.
Watch me jerk off, you fucking prude.
He should masturbate in front of more women.
Yeah, you're the one who's got you're the one who's making it weird.
Wait, your fault for having tits.
But my point is, like, you kind of know, like, it's a little more loose. It's more of an independent contractor vibe when you're out on tour. But working at a major network for a television show as a staff writer and doing that shit, even if the girl goes, yeah, fine, that is overstepping your bounds if that happened.
Yeah,
that's a little gross. Like you're both employees. That's, you know what I mean. Like I can't work at Target and be like, watch me jerk off real quick before I stock these items.
You'd be surprised.
Well, I'm never shopping at Target again.
I bet you I could hit the Target.
Dude, it's been fucking 10 years since I could shoot far enough to hit one of those high-hanging signs.
Someone's not taking super male vitality.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not eating my sawdust pills, Alex, for $99 a bottle.
After they ran, it says here that during Miss Goodman and Miss Wolvel's surreal visit to Louis C.K.'s Aspen hotel room, they said they were holding onto each other, screaming and laughing in shock. Screaming and laughing? As Louis C.K. masturbated in the chair, we were paralyzed. Did they try to leave?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying Louis C.K. isn't a creep. Don't get me wrong. I'm not defending if these things are true. But you have to be fair. You just can't. You have to analyze an entire situation.
Yeah, you got to stop confusing buyer's remorse for fucking sexual assault.
Because according to her story, he said, "I'm going to masturbate in front of you." They thought he was joking. He took his clothes off and started masturbating. They were screaming and laughing as Louis C.K. masturbated in the chair. She says we were paralyzed. See, that's where you lose me. All right?
You were not paralyzed.
You could have stood up, go, you fucking creep,
and leave.
And just leave.
All it takes.
Again, you're not talking about him pushing you down, raping you, even touching you. But if you're screaming and laughing, because I've never laughed and someone said, is Royce dying? No, you're laughing. You're in a good mood. Yeah. So you can't say screaming and laughing, because this is where, again, not defending him. I'm just saying, I'm looking at it from the perspective that he invited women up to his hotel room. Okay, number one, when you invite a chick up to your hotel room, whether it's one chick or two chicks, no guy has ever invited a chick to his hotel room to fucking talk about business.
Yeah. In fact, can I do that right now as a disclaimer?
Yeah.
All the ladies listening right now, we travel a lot. We cover a lot of different events. If we're ever in your neck of the woods and I invite you back to the hotel, I am trying to put my penis in or around you somewhere. Yeah. So don't get fucking offended. Now, I'm not the guy who's going to go, you want to watch me jerk off? Like, I'm a little smoother than that. Yeah. But holy shit, I'm certainly, like, there are a lot of stories lately where women are like, I followed him up to his hotel room after 2 bottles of fucking
Hold on.
Jameson, and he raped me. That's not rape.
Listen to this. We were paralyzed, Miss Guzman said. After he ejaculated on his stomach, they said, they fled. So they waited for him to come.
Well, at least they're
to
team
leave?
players.
No. I don't really care if I get flack for this. I really don't fucking care if I get I'm not saying
they let them come. That they're good girls. They're good
I'm not
eggs.
saying that these other stories aren't true. I'm not saying that maybe he's done something worse. But I'm talking specifically in this case. And by the way, I'm going by what the story that she's saying, not even like Louie CK's side of it. Even by your side of the story. If you were to go to a cop and go, this guy was being weird and jerked off, and you said, well, okay, what happened? Well, I went up to his room. Okay, well,
we were hysterical laughing.
We were laughing while he was masturbating, and then after he came, we left. They go, okay, lady, a cop will go, okay, lady, what do you want us to do?
Yeah, we can't do anything for that.
You stayed there. Did he make you? Did he hold the door? Did he not tell you couldn't leave?
You don't get it. I was raped. Ma'am, did you say that you, in fact, kept your winter coat and your mittens on the entire time? Yeah, well, then you weren't raped. We really need to find a clear and concise definition for the levels of perviness in men. If these stories are true, obviously Louie CK has a major problem with impulse control.
Yes.
And he might be a bit of a sociopath, whatever. But there is a difference, like Roy said, between a guy going, I'm going to start jerking my dick now, and then he starts jerking his dick, and him, like literally, like the Spacey story where he fucking basically blocked a door, picked up a 14-year-old, threw him onto a bed. Like that, one is way less aggressive than the other.
You're comparing. This isn't a Harvey Weinstein thing, and that's what they're trying to make every story comparable to that. What really bothers me is that this comes out before fucking the Dan Schneider thing does. But whatever.
Yeah, but this has been around for a while.
So's the fucking Dan Schneider thing.
I get it, but I mean, he's unlike fucking Schneider, who's got everybody paralyzed with fear and Louis finally, I guess the chickens are coming home to roost in Louis' case. And, look, the people in the comedy scene are a little bit less likely to give a fuck about their career or any of that shit. You know what I mean? We're making fucking, $80 a night and free chicken tendies
and you're right.
to do a set. So you're like, what am I going to lose?
And you're talking 2002 Louis CK, too. This is when they say this happened, 2002, 2003. So this wasn't even like fucking big time Louis. This was still Louis, like early days Louis. So when they start talking about he has no equals in the industry, maybe now, but in 2002, he was in the Chuckle Hut just like everybody else.
Yeah, Dane Cook was fucking. If Dane Cook was masturbating and pinning women down back then, I would have been like, yeah, that guy was a fucking juggernaut.
Exactly.
He was unstoppable in 02. That was good luck Chuck Dane Cook.
But you understand what I'm saying though? Like,
I get it.
Like this isn't like they're trying to make this pair again. Not excusing shitty behavior, but if you ask a woman, if you tell a woman, I'm going to masturbate in front of you, and they say nothing. And then you start masturbating in front of them, and they start laughing.
I'll go so far as to say that these ladies, and I'm not saying that in all cases like this that the women are partially responsible. Sometimes women are genuinely raped and assaulted and taken advantage of and scared. In this particular case, these women were just as equally complicit in this situation as he was. They were just as responsible. They apparently were between him and the door, so they could have easily left. They were dressed up for wintertime, and they waited till he came on his stomach. So it's like, come on, dude.
Gas Mask in the YouTube chat says, Louis, come on his tum, make all the women run, CK.
Oh, no. Oh, Louis, what's going to happen to you now? Oh, my God.
That was very funny, very funny, Gas Mask 612 in the chat. Really,
Louis blocking the door. I'm going to jerk off because I'm bored, CK. Fucking Louis, hey Tig Notaro, why you standing so far? CK. Oh shit.
Louis, the more you laugh, the harder I splash. CK.
Oh fuck.
You think when Louis does that, he gives out like those tarps that they give out at Gallagher shows in the front? In case there's collateral damage.
How about Louis? It shoots out like a flume, and then they have to clean up the green room. CK.
You know the most disgusting part about this whole story, about what he's saying, is that he sat down naked in a hotel chair. That's fucking gross.
Yeah.
Like, again, we lie to ourselves with the bed, but at least the sheets you hope are being cleaned. So, but you never sit bare ass on, because maids don't wipe down the hotel chairs. The most disgusting part about that is he sat his bare ass on that chair.
That is really that's really gross.
Yeah. After they ran into Halpern, the owner of influential improv theater in Los Angeles and Chicago, where Miss Goodman and Miss Wolof perform, and relayed what happened, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to tell them to do, said Miss Halpern. Miss Goodman and Miss Wolof decided against going to the police. They decided against going to the police. Let me read that again.
Are we talking about Louis jacking my bone at a Comedy Zone, CK?
That's the one.
Sorry. Can't let these go now.
Read this again. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to tell them to do, said Miss Halpin, and they decided against going to the police, unsure whether what happened was criminal. It wasn't, because, again, even going by your own story, that's why I said, if it wasn't criminal, right? So he didn't break the law, okay? A lot of the stuff Weinstein did is breaking the law.
Oh, yeah.
All right? At this point, stuff's coming out as legit rape. Not defending the guy for being a creepy masturbator, Louie CK. But again, context matters.
In the chat. Trolita Castania. Louis, I jerk my pee-pee while you go tee, CK.
So, yeah, I'm not thinking this is...
It's hilarious. It's the funniest thing Louis done in 2 years.
All right. Well, do you want to get on to the? That's basically what we're seeing. There's not too much. There's nothing crazier than that, and from what I'm reading.
I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see, as they say.
Yeah.
And,
all right. So you said we're gonna have somebody call in now.
Yeah. One of our listeners had a really interesting story. I mean, we could sort of get into that if we want to go through this. But we basically got some stuff sent to us. Again, all of our good stuff comes from our listeners. But yeah, Chris, one of our listeners, who's he gets it. He knows when it's something we haven't seen, and he had some interest.
Hey, gentlemen, how's it going today?
Hey,
what's
there
up?
he is. Do we want to just go with Chris, or how do we want to do that?
Just Chris is fine.
All right, Chris.
The Twitter account I've got all of this archived on and all this posted on is not really something I want to associate with my full name.
I get it.
Basically, I don't want to take full credit for this. This was not my original discovery. Some brave patriot on Pole found out this last night, but most of the court cases that the D.C. courts are running right now, through their RSS feed, you can get most of them unconcealed and look through most of them just by going into the open RSS.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know what an RSS is, it's kind of just like the front page of Reddit. It's just blue hyperlinks bringing you to different cases. We were on there in the open RSS last night.
Mm-hmm.
That got posted at like 3:30 this morning. These different cases. One of them, biggest one, is being a gentleman by the name of George Webb. Some of you might have heard of him. He's a pretty popular YouTuber on here.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually suing the Podesta Group, along with Anthony Weiner, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, also a group by the name of ARMZ Uranium Holding Company, who you might know as the subsidiary holder of the Uranium One deal, where we sold 20% of our uranium to Russia. I know I'm kind of throwing a lot of information at y'all right now. I'm just trying to
All right. Yeah. Let's
give y'all a little context.
Okay. So
this was in regards to the Uranium One scandal.
right.
And now there is a civil action in federal court in D.C.
It is a civil action. It does have the potential to become a criminal case through this. From what I understand, and I'm definitely not a law student, I'm not a lawyer, but from what I understand, if a group aggregates between $5,000 and $25,000 just between different scenarios that they might have come by it. It has the potential to become a criminal case, and it's the money that would have been made through 20% of our uranium. I'm pretty sure it would have cost more than $5 to $25,000.
Right.
Wow. So, yeah, and I noticed everybody's on this list. I mean, anybody you remember from any of the DNC shenanigans in the last year is a co-defendant in this case. So,
right.
And
it's not just this one YouTuber that's suing him. It's a class action lawsuit. There's George Webb, like I mentioned earlier, and then 435 John Does and 435 Jane Does, all pressing charges against these groups. The total aggregate amount that they're suing them for right now is $900 million total, $300 million to one group, and $600 million to the other group.
Wow. Yeah. And I mean, and obviously, look, I just found out yesterday that, a lawsuit does not a victory mean.
No.
Because
absolutely not.
I just got
but
my
the fact
ass
that
handed to me.
Courts have, the courts have summoned John Podesta, Anthony Weiner, and Deborah Wasserman Schultz. So I think this is definitely a telling sign that, we're going to start being able to hold some of these people accountable for all this crazy shit that's been happening into the Democratic Party over the last election.
I mean, this would be great just if they could subpoena any records or try to get their hands on anything.
That exactly.
But
right.
Again, one thing I've learned is even just recently yesterday, I just found out I lost my 4-year lawsuit in federal court, which was pretty much a huge bummer. But it doesn't always go the way you like. You could have overwhelming evidence, and it doesn't always go the way you think it's going to go. Mm-hmm. So we really need to hope that I appreciate the effort of George Webb and these unnamed other plaintiffs. Unfortunately, I do not believe that there is a single federal judge in D.C. Who isn't completely owned by the Democrats. So, I mean, I don't...
Absolutely.
And that's going to be, trust me when I tell you, that's going to be an uphill battle, because I learned yesterday that federal judges have a lot of leeway.
Yep.
A lot of leeway in these cases. So look, I just learned yesterday, man, it may not even go to trial. They might just throw that shit out. Federal judges
That's just one of the trials that we found. We've also found another one was just released at 1:40 GMT today. We were posting, I remember tweeting this out. I checked the time, it was like 4:30 in the morning, that we were posting screenshots of this. It's Donald Trump is being sued by the NAACP currently. Those were one of the few files that we could not get unlocked. It popped up like a Title 18 warning and required this login information. So that was one of the files that we weren't able to get into through the open RSS. A couple other ones were...
you specifically saw... Sorry? I'm sorry, just to correct you now. So you had to log in. It's obviously one of those kind of things. But you did specifically see a NAACP v. Donald Trump headline on a lawsuit.
National Association for the Advancement of Colored People versus Donald Trump. And then it gave the open RSS, it had the coding for the permalink, and then under that it had the actual link that the permalink would take you to. And just like the regular RSS feed right now, if you were to click on that same link that just opened today, it just takes you to this Title 18. You have to have a login for this. So it's like the actual, court staff records
lawyers,
of it. But
lawyers of record and stuff like that.
Emmanuel in the chat says to assume the NAACP suing him for being literally Hitler.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but is that an actual...
In Germany, it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in Germany, but I don't know how that's... there's no metric.
Mein Counselor!
Mein Counselor? What happened to your mustache?
What happened to your mustache in Wolfenstein 2, Mein Counselor?
This is not a swastika!
Sorry. You've seen the differences between the German and the American Wolfenstein 2, right? It's fucking great.
oh yeah,
It's hilarious. The swastika is my favorite part.
It's the best.
This is in Japanese! It really is so weird.
Yeah, no, I mean, and then, I think at this point, at least the NAACP one, it's just one of those. Everyone's trying to throw shit against the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah, and let's get something straight. NAACP, colored people. I mean,
Yeah,
really?
seriously.
That's pretty racist.
That's pretty racist, guys.
If you can say it, why can't I say it every single day? Sometimes 3 to 4 times a day.
Yes.
Long
I think
story.
it's fine as long as you don't say colored folk.
Long story short, our neighbors don't like me too much.
No.
They've asked that. They asked that I please smoke cigarettes in the backyard now.
Yeah, he keeps screaming at me. He's turned into what's I was gonna say Clint Eastwood in that movie, but he's just
Gran Torino.
But he's just turned into regular Clint Eastwood.
I'm gonna smash these gooks with the butt of my gun. Get off my lawn.
He's been talking to an empty chair all day. I don't know what to do with him.
I'm a cranky old man and I have a nice car.
Yeah, I don't. This is big if it's if this works out. But again, I just got brutally sodomized in federal court yesterday. So
I thought you were talking about your childhood again.
Yeah, no, that too. I can tell you, the dicking I took yesterday hurt way worse than any of the dickings I got as a kid. Holy shit! Did I learn yesterday that these federal judges can do whatever the fuck they want?
Didn't Trump get an award from the NAACP a while ago? It's Calzone asked. Yeah, I think he did a few years ago.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not more than a few years ago, at least more than a decade ago. I think he was, again, there's pictures of Donald Trump. By the way.
Can I say it?
Yes.
It's just been revoked.
Okay, well, there you go. Congratulations. You get one more this episode.
Okay.
One more.
We get 2 an episode?
That's it. One first hour, one
pretty
second
dope.
hour. Yeah.
I'm gonna slip that in on Invictus later.
It's just been revoked.
That's fine, but then I get to play this.
Diplomatic community.
That's mine.
Okay, look,
Okay,
deal's
fair.
a deal.
Fine,
Okay?
that's fair.
It's fine. Oh man.
Speaking of diplomatic immunity, I don't think, like you said, because you were saying, Mac, I don't think this, because of the federal judges, I don't think this is going to in any way even touch any of these people.
Yeah. No, it's
I want it to, and it's great that people are trying, but at this point, no.
Yeah, I've been in court for 4 years on a lawsuit that was valued at around $250,000, and I had overwhelming proof. I had a letter from the government saying that they found discrimination in my case. I had text messages. I had witnesses. I had it all lined up. And after 4 years of fighting in court yesterday, a federal judge just took it and went, nuh-uh, and just closed it forever. So I don't trust these motherfuckers.
Well, and how many of them legislate from the bench too? I mean,
Oh my
God, that's
dude.
the other problem. I mean, look at every time Trump tries to fucking do anything, any sort of any immigration ban, fucking Hawaii, the state that matters the least, is able to just go, it's not allowed because it said so.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, dude. After what happened yesterday with this federal judge, I've never been a bigger fan of drug cartels.
I felt the same way after I watched the first season of Narcos, but
Get
yeah,
him.
I hear you.
Get him, El Chapo.
Sean Penn's friend, El Chapo.
Yeah, I don't know about that anymore.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Whether he ratted him out or not.
But no, dude, this is really big. If you find any more stuff, dude, please
Yes.
keep us abreast.
Well, I mean, there's a few other littler things, definitely not
Sure.
as high profile as those two. There's some FOIA stuff, Freedom of Information Act going on between Guardian News and the Department of Justice, as well as CNN and the FBI. Not a lot. I couldn't really find anything really worth, reporting about with those. Other than that, the only interesting thing we really found in that was that the air crash over the South Indian Ocean from 2014, that plane that just totally disappeared.
Yeah.
Another lawyer is now withdrawing from that case, and they're transferring that out again. So it really just seems like this is going to be another one of those attempts to just kind of quietly sweep it under the rug. Because, I mean, how do you still not know where a whole airliner is?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Have you considered getting this breaking news out to journalist extraordinaire Laura Loomer? She's always on the case.
I heard she's looking for a date, too, if you're looking.
Yeah, she also might catch a case.
Yeah,
the way
that's a
she's
good
been
point.
acting towards them young boys.
She's getting fucking pushy. What a pushy bitch.
Oh yeah, we got a lot on Loomer coming up too.
Yeah.
We're gonna cover that.
That'll happen as well.
Maybe you could
Fantastic.
maybe you could get her to go to DC and hide in the bushes and bother people. and get told, no, you can't come into this press conference. You're not really a journalist.
Yeah.
You're just a crazy woman.
But look at my mega hat.
Go to the deplorable with me. I love you, Paul Joseph Watson.
I photoshopped myself on you.
That's not weird at all.
You fucking nut job.
By the way, we gave advice to Louie CK about masturbating in front of women. Time to be fair and give you ladies advice. No guy has ever wanted you to Photoshop yourself with them in a picture. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, save yourself some time and take a picture of your snatch and send that.
Yeah. Dude, you send some titties or some vagina, I guarantee you PJW would have been like, well, all right then. I mean, it's something. Just make sure you get us a smoking hotel room.
Fuck, and he has to bring his he has to bring his travel map with him. If not, he freaks out and goes to a AAA and buys a map.
I've got to bring a map, hang it on the wall, and I've also got me travel pillow.
Hey, Mike, is conservatism the new counterculture?
I have heard, in fact, that conservatism is the new counterculture.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck, I hate him. Anyway.
Yeah.
Chris, dude, thank you
Thanks,
so much.
dude. We really do appreciate it.
If you dig up any more goodies, as you can see when it's good, we go
We will.
right to it.
You will be put to the top of the list, my friend.
Yeah, I woke up today to that
Thanks,
message,
guys.
and I'm like,
Appreciate you having me on.
No problem. Thanks for
thank
calling,
you,
dude.
man.
Later.
Yeah, we have the best quality people behind the show. I love it. It really is awesome.
You know, we have a little bit. Do you want to talk about the Laura Loomer, Paul Joseph?
We could. I was good. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah,
because we're going to get into it again eventually anyway. Because we're going to be having. I've reached out this gentleman by the name of Nick Monroe, who has been on her ass. He's another investigative journalist type, totally independent. But a lot of people are giving him a lot of goods. But we could go with just the general.
You know what? Yeah. Why don't we? I forgot about that. Let's wait till we have him on.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But trust me, it's really funny.
It's hilarious. What a goddamn... And we might have Leaf on, too, for a little bit.
Yeah,
she's
that's a good
also been
point.
very good at curating Laura Loomer's slow descent
I want Leaf
into
on for
madness.
that. Yeah. All right. So, blind item. Wanted to read this because this goes with what we've been trying to do, our own little personal crusade.
Is this that same website that does the blind items that everybody keeps going? Yeah, it's just a total load of bullshit. But then every single week it's proven true.
You mean the website that nailed the Kevin Spacey thing? That website?
The website that did Harvey Weinstein years ago?
Nailed the Harvey Weinstein thing when everyone was putting their fingers in their ears?
James Toback,
Yeah.
Brett Ratner, Brian Singer.
Yeah, Brett Ratner, I'm not gonna give him credit because just you could look at him and you could tell. Like, you don't need a blind item, though. Brett Ratner's a creep.
It's true.
Just look at the guy.
If you look at Brett Ratner, you're like, this guy's gonna try to rape me. There's no
probably-
way. Do not leave him alone with my drink. Like that's the
Brett
guy.
Ratner looks like the guy back in college. There was always that one frat house that told you not to go to because they were the rapey one.
Exactly.
He's at that frat house.
Yeah, Brett Ratner.
Hey, bro, don't go over to the Pike one, dude. They'll fucking fuck you in the ass if you fall asleep.
Brett Ratner looks like a guy who criticizes your character's appearance in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Dude, you're not even using all the sprites properly. You loser. I don't get out much.
And by the way, still the second least creepiest director of the X-Men franchise because the first one's Bryan Singer.
Jesus, that's right. What are you doing,
The
X-Men?
first one's Bryan Singer.
And also, the X-Men movies were goddamn terrible. So it's not even like, look, I understand if Zack Snyder was running around raping kids all willy-nilly and still keeping them on as a director, I'd be like, Zack Snyder's pretty good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's Brett Ratner and Bryan Singer. These movies were garbage.
Yeah. Scorsese's another one. Like, if something came out with Scorsese, you'd be like, fucking sucks. But Goodfellas, though.
Yeah. I think that, honestly, they could leak a picture of Scorsese blowing an infant, and I would still be like, I gotta still watch Goodfellas 3 times a year. You can't ruin that film.
If
for
that
me.
movie, the only reason I ever even missed basic cable is because it's always on one of those channels, and you could just in the background. Yeah, of course it's ruined.
But it's always like, you motherfudger you, and you're like, I can't do this.
can't,
Just give
no.
me a fucking. I'm
No.
so glad we live in the digital age now. You just pirate it. You're like, I'm not gonna watch it on TBS. You know, I'm gonna watch Casino with all the fucks and all the glory.
Here's the blind item. This former A-list tween actress turned A-list dual threat actress turned stay-at-home A-lot is about to name names, a lot of molesting and assaulting and passed out to men 2 and 3 times her age when she was a teen, naming names. All these people said, all of the people she is naming still work a lot, and I think she thinks she won't believe it because of her past. That person is Amanda Bynes. Blind item. We don't know if it's true now.
Blind item. We don't know if it's true, but this guy has a better batting average than Jeter did. This guy, this fucking dude, he has yet to be really proven wrong. And even the stuff that's not been proven right has not been proven wrong. So this dude is, look, Amanda.
The Jews.
No, it's not the Jews always.
You're doing the thing.
I'm doing the
You got to come up with a different thing then.
Hey,
right?
Hey, Amanda. Will you stay in this room and watch me masturbate? Is that another way to do it?
Can you laugh at me while I do it, please? Fucking.
Look, I'm a big star, all right?
All right, Louie, we get it.
I'm on Opie and Anthony all the time. Are they still a thing? I don't know.
It's been a while since they've been a thing, my friend. It's been a long while.
A long time since we hung around any of them, too.
By the way, guys, regarding the Dan Schneider stuff, I mean, we'd love to give you more updates, but we'd love to have more. We'd love to have more updates to give you, but we really don't, and that's the problem. And don't think we're not still working. I mean, every day we're working. I mean, tomorrow we're gonna have
Angelique Bates will be on the program tomorrow. She was one of the original cast members of all that first 2 seasons. She was actually one that was replaced by Amanda Bynes. And she came out about a month ago with a video, and she kind of detailed, at least briefly, abuse that she suffered, not from Schneider, and let's make it clear, not from anybody at Nickelodeon, but she does have a very good idea of the contingency measures that these studios have in place to silence such abuse. So she actually was abused by her mom, which is obviously very horrible. But she does have a lot of insights as to what these studios do to step in, throw money at the problem, and bury it because they don't want controversy. So we're going to keep peeling back the layers, guys. It's happening.
Also, we want to give a shout out.
Oh, yeah. This is, she didn't want to use her real name, but this is an awesome artist. I'll call her AR.
Okay.
Those are the initials. But yeah, she did this specifically for our program. I did have a little input. I'd like to say, your boy got to make a suggestion or two, but she really just took a sort of idea and fucking made it awesome. That is Ben Garrison level good.
If you want to see it, it's up on our Twitter, ROTC Media, or on our Facebook, facebook.com/We're Not Sorry. Also, another quick update. We're no longer going to be broadcasting the show live on Facebook.
Yeah, no more Facebook.
Sorry.
It can't be trusted.
We wanted to do it for other people that are at work and maybe just, want to pop on the app, but we can't after Facebook decided that we were attacking either religious or someone based on their blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we were making fun of, genderqueer freaks.
Yeah, and they decided that you can't even joke around about it. So,
sorry, gas mask in the chat. This is a new one I haven't heard. Dan, inappropriate contact, lucrative contract, Schneider.
That's the one.
That was a good one.
It's a really good one.
I like that. That guy, yeah, that's a double right there. But yes, so
it's very funny. Yeah, so we're not on Facebook anymore because they decided that we are a little too edgy. Even though the only people that can see our videos are people that follow the page. We apologize again to Mad American Network because their page is back up now, though.
Yeah, thankfully we're not the ones that killed them.
But we don't want to risk it because it's not even like they're hitting they hit my personal fucking Facebook account. Not even because that's the one I use to run the feed. So it's not even like they're fucking with my page. They're fucking with me.
And that's the problem. I mean, the last time we got zucked, they didn't even fuck with Revenge of the Sis. They fucked with our good friends at Mad American Network.
Yes.
Dave Martell. Shout out to Dave Martell and Ryan Ramsey. And basically, it's not only that they fucking shut that page down and put us in a weird spot, but then, like Royce said, it's like, it's bad enough, hey, that video is not appropriate, but then they've decided that for 30 days, Royce can't keep in touch with his family and friends.
Right, and that's
so it's like, what the fuck? You've created a platform where we have to use your messenger now, and now you're like, no, you can't use it for 30 days. Time out.
I mean, luckily I have an alt account, and that with close family and stuff. And I know everyone said to me, "Yeah, man, that's why I have like 7 alt accounts." Yeah, no, that's great that's great. I know you do, but what bothers me is that we have to fucking live in a world where I have to have alt accounts because I haven't even been posting anything on my regular page because it's all been about Revenge of the Sis. And what they fuck you up is because then you have to download the Messenger app because you can't fine whatever you give in, you download the app, then they say, hey, connect your phone to it, that way you can just text with it. And then when your fucking account is banned, by the way, they don't post on Facebook and tell people sending you messages that your account is banned, so people that don't know,
They just think you're being a cunt.
they think you're being a cunt or an asshole. You have like family members that only talk to you through there and they're not on your alt account, and then you have to go through all this work, so they hook you up to their system and then they keep you in check by taking away the system.
You cannot block my style.
Yeah, you cannot block my style. 30-day ban. 30-day ban for my show.
How many months is that now out of the year? Because you're not caught up with me yet.
No, but I'm catching up.
I've done a solid 5 months.
I've been
in the
2 months out, so I've done less than you have.
Yeah, I've done 5 months on and off in 2017. They have been fucking with me hard. First it was for Guns for Tards. Now it's for this show. And then also just for general shit posting. Like, I'm just not a nice person.
No, I know. I mean, and that's what would happen to me. But the problem is that, you know, it happens here on YouTube too. Yesterday, let's tell it. Fuck them. Yesterday, we did the day before yesterday, we did the show where we talked about that slam poet cunt, the nasty woman.
Oh yeah.
And after we did the show, we go on our page. Your video is not monetized due to copyright content. Like, what are you talking about? We always play like music from the TRC and stuff like that to make sure that we have the rights and we have no issues because they'll bump you for anything. Apparently, not Vice, but this bitch.
The actual
Slam
fucking
poetry bitch.
doofy slam poetry bitch had that fucking video copyrighted.
Yeah.
Of her doing the Cheeto dust. I hope we don't get a strike because that was really close.
That you nailed it.
Yeah, the algorithm might pick it up. But that goofy Puerto Rican bitch, she's the worst kind of leftist slam poet.
Yeah.
But she hit us with a copyright strike, and like, that fucks us all up because then we can't back up our videos. There's all kinds of issues. We got to trim it. And
of course, we make our money off the platform. That's it. So,
fun fact, though, I got a friend, Jess, who is of the lesbian persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
She was matched to that girl on Tinder. She lives in Tennessee. She was matched to her on Tinder. I'm trying to talk her into trolling her right now.
that would be amazing.
Yes, but she's also not a. She's really not a troll or a right winger. She's one of my nicer friends. So it's like, she's not really like if this had been.
But
Megan
did you show
or
her the
one of those-
video? Because I think that'll change her mind.
Yeah, no, she saw it, and that's when she said to
I
me,
got
like,
you.
"Oh shit, I was matched on Tinder to that girl once," and I was like, man, I don't want to push it too hard. Like, if this was old Megatron or one of them, they would be like, I'm on this right now. I'm gonna torture this woman, but she's a little nicer, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull that off.
Yeah. So, to remind you guys, since we don't get our videos, most of our videos are limited monetization at best. Patreon.com/We're Not Sorry is how you can help us keep everything afloat, fund our fun little adventures when we go into and fuck with Antifa and all these asshole protesters and stuff like that. And of course, you will get a thank you for your service video every time you do. And just for that alone, I think it's worth it. Coming up, second hour, we're going to go to break. We have Augustus Invictus.
Yes, Senate candidate of 2018 and the editor of the Revolutionary Conservative. Very excited about it. Augustus Invictus coming up. Second hour.
Don't go anywhere. Revenge of the Sis.
Orlando, Florida, a city known for its theme parks and resorts. But peace is threatened as a wave of crime has turned this once beautiful vacation destination into a haven for gangs, thugs, and terrorists.
I need backup! Halt nightclub! Shots fired! Shots fired!
When an LGBT hotspot is shot up and dozens are killed, 2 detectives may be this city's only hope to unravel a conspiracy of corruption that goes all the way to the nation's most powerful elite.
This is Grizzly.
Hey Lopez, look, it's called Pulse Nightclub. Hey, I bet
Don't. Seriously, dude, just don't. Not now.
When the city finds itself gripped with fear and under attack, Mersch and Lopez keep a cool head as they attempt to unravel the mystery.
I believe these men were targeted simply because they were homosexual. This is a hate crime.
Gross.
It is gross, partner. Targeting people out of hate like that?
No, I meant the gay stuff. That's pretty gross. These two no-nonsense cops are about to find themselves dragged into a world of political intrigue and international terrorism, and they may be the only hope to save the world.
I got a morgue full of dead bodies with neon mesh tank tops, a dead suspect, and no motive. The mayor is on my ass.
There's more to this case than we're seeing, LT. I think it's terrorism.
I agree with Lopez, Chief. It's definitely terrorism. We're dealing with a bigger fish here. As they uncover clues with their incomparable police cop work, Mersch and Lopez get closer to the real masterminds.
Seems like Mateen's phone had some kind of encryption software. It bricked itself.
Damn. So we're screwed, huh?
Well, I managed to get one file off the phone. GPS coordinates that lead to Washington, D.C.
Comet Ping Pong Pizza. Never heard of it.
Feel like grabbing a slice, partner?
Yeah, a slice
Of justice. Yeah, I know. You say it every time.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
Yeah, cool. Can leaving now be our thing? Because it's a long drive to D.C.
Coming up next week, Orlando's best detectives are still trying to get to the truth behind the deadliest attack in their city's history. Mersch and Lopez follow a lead that takes them all the way to the nation's capital. But will their case be derailed as they discover a child sex trafficking ring inside of a pizza place? Find out next week on an all-new Revenge of the Sis, Mondays at 4, followed by an all-new Nazi lawyer, only on USA Network. USA, what are you gonna do, watch TBS?
Hey guys, it's Mersch and Royce here, and we would like to take a moment to shill like the unprincipled whores that we are. Thank you all for making Revenge of the Sis one of the fastest growing podcasts out there. Having such outspoken, passionate fans spreading the word about our show makes the work that we do that much more rewarding.
You can help us continue growing by doing the following things. Become a direct contributor by going to patreon.com/we're not sorry. You can choose a one-time donation or recurring one. Every penny helps. It helps us produce quality programming we bring you every week. Also, please subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, and make sure you leave a review on iTunes. All three of these things are extremely important and help us in the court of public perception. And most importantly, tell a friend about Revenge of the Sis. Sure, you probably can't tell your normie boss or your significant other's blue-pilled mom, but everyone knows a person who would like our show. Tell that person about us and help us make a new fan. Seriously, don't be a dick, get us some clicks.
And please follow our wonderful friends at Facebook, the Mad American Network, the Unapologetic Canadian, Social Justice Warriors, and you can always find us hanging out in the Space Right group on Facebook. Once again, from the bottom of our cold black hearts, thank you for supporting us and making this such an amazing experience.
In a world where our very way of life seems to be under attack from all sides, and our freedoms are slowly being ripped away, Guns for Tards is fighting the good fight to help protect America from its enemies by advocating Second Amendment rights for our nation's most vulnerable and often overlooked citizens, the mentally challenged. Our founding fathers believed that a well-armed, trained, and educated citizenry was the key to a free and prosperous society. But Meatloaf also said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We believe that Tards are our second to last line of defense against ISIS, and we at Guns for Tards aim to provide the means and the programs to give proper training and resources to Tards in your area, helping to make the country a safer place. There are over 40 million mentally challenged Americans living today, and by 2020, we plan to arm at least 10% of them. We want to get as many guns in the hands of as many Tards as we can. But we won't be able to do it without your help. So please, pledge your help today. Arm a Tard. It's not that hard. Go to www.gunsfortards.com for more information, or follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Guns for Tards.
Gunsfortards.com.
to protect your town. Gunsfortards.com.
If you weren't able to catch the last Hippo Juice show, here's what you probably missed.
Anita Pedman.
That sounds fake.
Fine. Anita Smith, an administrative assistant, altered records to pocket $75.
Wait, I know Padme. She was actually Queen Amidala.
They're the same people?
Yeah. I know.
Why
Blew
wasn't
my
it
mind
just-
too.
Why wasn't it just Queen Padme?
Guys, I don't know if you know this, but Anakin didn't like sand.
So coarse.
It was very coarse.
And rough.
It was rough and coarse.
Gets everywhere.
Fucking hate that guy.
He was probably bitter because he tried to fuck Queen
I
Amidala.
thought about that awful dialogue.
I know, dude.
Since
Watch
I watched it the first
Again,
time.
though.
I feel like I blocked it out.
You block it out.
Block it out, and the fact that you brought it up just
It's so bad, right? I mean,
Are you serious? Out of all
Oh,
8 and then the side movies,
Oh,
that's the only thing I remember from Star Wars.
Is the
Oh,
sand?
really? Oh, that's funny.
Like, nothing else matters except for maybe credits will do fine.
Oh,
Except,
she does that all the
credits
time.
will do fine.
But, yes.
No, they won't.
Really, seriously, watch the dialogue.
Guess what I have?
Watch the dialogue.
I don't like sand.
Oh, God. Don't do that. Turn it up a bit.
Rough and irritating.
Gets everywhere.
Not like here.
Oh, God, it's so bad.
Ugh.
Oh,
Everything is soft.
it's making me cringe.
Everything.
It's making me cringe.
It was like if the host of an NPR special wrote a Match.com
I know.
bio.
Right.
I don't like sand.
Listen to the Hippo Juice show live every Wednesday night, 7 to 9 p.m. on morelikeradio.com.
From Time Life Music comes a one-of-a-kind Rat Pack collection, their most bigoted songs. All your favorite once-acceptable hits like Drunk Old Injun.
The drunk old Injun squatting in his teepee, fire water keeping him warm.
Jewish Nose.
She's got a big, beautiful Jewish nose, and it's there 2 minutes early wherever she goes.
Dean Martin singing Chinaman's Chants.
And Mr. Chinaman saying his Chinaman way, a ding-a-ling, a ching-a-chong, a ching-a-chong too.
Pew Stinky Frenchman.
Paris is lovely and Nice sure is nice, and Marseille is charming with champagne on ice. But you stinky Frenchmen haven't a clue. Pew stinky Frenchmen, frog you.
Hey there, Fruity.
Hey there, Fruity, you can do my hair. Hey there, Fruity, don't touch me down there. Hey there, Fruity, again, I don't approve.
And many more.
Second hour. Revenge of the Sis. Thank you for staying with us, guys. We really appreciate it.
So fucking excited.
I'm trying out like my new positive voice. What do you think?
I'm pretty psyched right now.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome to the second hour.
So second hour here. I have been waiting for this for quite a while, and I sort of invited this guy on the show like as a goof, because I was just like, he's not gonna come on the fucking show.
Oh, no.
Pair of clown shoes. And yeah, we got lucky on this one. We got Augustus Invictus coming on here in just a moment. He's
Hello, Mr. Augustus
Oh,
Invictus.
he's with us
How
now.
are you? Oh, there he is.
Yo.
Now I see. You won't be able to see us, but we do see you. And by the way, you look very handsome. You make us look kind of ugly. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, he
Well,
has.
I didn't realize you were going to use the suit picture as the promo, so I would have gotten a tie and jacket on and
no.
like a bag if I had known that.
Do you know how many times Mike and I, we've literally done shows where I've been wearing gym shorts and Mike's been wearing pajama pants, but we're wearing a nice shirt and a suit over because you don't see below our waist when we do the show. So don't worry. Comfort is key.
Yeah,
So
I have worn sport coats and pajama pants. This is a fact.
I've seen him do it.
All right, well, I'm totally ill-prepared because I wouldn't have worn this jock strap either if I had known we were going for comfort.
Well, I wear that anyway for comfort.
Yeah,
Because
well, pics or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think some of the female listeners would like that. We are now on the line. He is the editor-in-chief of the Revolutionary Conservative and 2018 Republican candidate for Senate, which is news. I just honestly looked that up today, and you're really you're going that route, huh?
Going that route, yeah, because like I said in the announcement, months ago when I switched parties, the libertarians seem pretty much fanatically devoted to losing. So I just didn't want to be part of that losing club anymore.
Can I say, as someone who's been voting Libertarian, that's very funny because they really, really are. They don't know how to win. They pick the worst people.
They were This is what, and this is funny that you bring it up because I know in 2016 you ran as a Libertarian, and the chairman of the party kind of spurged out and resigned and made a whole stink about it.
Spurged out is the least of it. He wasn't the only one either.
But isn't this the same party that was throwing like John McAfee's name around for president? Like, they're not taking this totally seriously.
Right. Well, yeah, McAfee, all the other people, like if you're running on a ticket that says we're all about degeneracy and weed and gay sex and all that, then 100%, that's fine. But if you get accused of Nazism or fascism, well, then we're dead serious. That's not going to fly. But coke and hookers, every president should be doing that, right?
Yeah, but to be fair, too, I mean, these are sort of not fair charges now. I mean, I'm very familiar with you. I've followed a lot of your stuff, and you've kind of been lumped in my opinion, unfairly a bit with the alt-right movement. I know you've been to some events, and I know you can know people in that circle, but I certainly, from what I can tell you, you're not a racist, you're not autistic, and you don't seem to want to suck Putin's dick or kill any Jews. So I don't know why you tend to get this Nazi label. Do you think this association was underscored a bit by your very visible and enthusiastic presence in Charlottesville?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And they all, I had switched parties to the Republican Party before that. And as soon as Charlottesville came around, all the people in the Libertarian Party who hated me were saying, see, we told you so. We told you he was a Nazi. So, yeah, they've lumped me in there. I mean, on the one hand, it's deliberate on my part because I refuse to throw them under the bus. Like, we do events together. We have a lot of the same support base. A lot of the people in the alt-right do support me. So I'm not going to call them all Nazis. That would be stupid. On the other hand, yeah, they've been doing this, throwing me under the bus with the Nazis, that whoever they think that is, since I defended the American Front in court back in 2012. You defend neo-Nazis in court, they don't have the right to a fair trial because they're Nazis. So anybody actually defending them in a criminal case, they're Nazis as well. So they've been pulling that trick for years.
Yeah, no, and that's a really good. Actually, even worse than Nazis. Even Nazis had the Nuremberg trial. Like, you don't even get that. You're immediately punched in the face. You're hit, and it's funny because I've said this on the show a couple times. I think the reason that conservatives tend to do better is because we are capable of working well with people. Even if you don't agree with everything, we could come to a natural place like, all right, I don't like that you do A, B, and C, but you're not trying to take away my guns. I'm going to work with you, and right. I think the left, we're seeing it now, is imploding and falling apart because they're unwilling to work with each other,
Right. Well, that's the thing about the left. When I went in, I was really centrist when I started running for office. And then I realized along the way, the leftists have no desire whatsoever to compromise with anyone, to work with anyone. They want to force people out. They have no interest in negotiating or finding common ground to move forward. So you're kind of, if you're on the right and you're trying to be reasonable, you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, to Royce's point, that's why I tend to, like, for instance, we are in a similar boat that you are. Obviously not on as big of a scale yet, but we have a very weird, loose-knit collection of fans, and they range everywhere from, we've got leftist fans, which is weird. I think they're just masochists, but we even have people that are old school conservatives. We have Jewish listeners. We have alt-right people. We have people from the right stuff who do shows on there that listen to our show, and we don't necessarily do the whole, alt-right thing, but we're also not going to denounce people. It's hard to be, comedians who have been called rape apologists and racists and all these, women haters, because we make jokes. So I can't, in good conscience, dislike people on a freedom of speech thing like that. Like, I'm not going to tell you what to say, because nobody's going to fucking tell me what to say. So
I'll also say this for the alt-right, it's never been the alt-right that's throwing me under the bus. It's never been the so-called white supremacists and neo-Nazis, shitting on me because I have an Hispanic family. It is always every single time, the leftists and the moderate right-wingers that have something to say about race, about what I'm doing, throwing me under the bus, refusing to work with me. It's never been the alt-right. The alt-right, like, they're actually the most reasonable people in the room, which I find to be quite ironic.
You know, and I'll say that is true. When we went over to we went to cover the Spencer rally at University of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
The people that were crazy and that we were worried about was the Antifa people chanting, you know, "Cops are the Klan," screaming at people. Not, you know, at one point, Mike and I are screaming, trying to go, look, let the Nazi fucking walk to his thing. What are you doing? Like, stop it. You're being children.
Yeah, and the guy that went there got exactly the reaction he knew he was going to get. He dressed up. He didn't even dress up like an actual Nazi. He dressed up like a 1990s, like an extra from the movie Romper Stomper. And he fucking showed up to Gainesville, and everybody was like, "Brrr!" And they were all crying. I'm like, you're doing exactly, like, you're proving his point.
Yeah.
You're trying to push a man and burn his books and not let him speak. That's pretty Nazi.
I'm Cuban, and I've been called called a Nazi. I'm like, do you understand, you idiots? And that's the problem. I think that that double meaning with that Nazi word. They've made the word meaningless, which is sad. You know, it doesn't mean anything anymore. You've taken something that was supposed to mean the most horrid thing somebody could do, and turned it into, well, you know, you don't want babies to be killed before the second trimester, you Nazi. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm Hitler now.
At this point, it applies to everybody. Even Jewish people are Nazis.
Yeah.
It's called a Nazi on a regular basis.
Yeah. They had signs.
Everybody Jewish who's right of Karl Marx is now a Nazi, according to the Antifa.
People in Berkeley were calling Ben Shapiro a Nazi.
Right,
I was
exactly.
like, what the fuck? I was hysterical laughing that day, and then I stopped myself, and I was like, I can't laugh at this. This is actually so sad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, now, speaking of getting lumped in with people, Royce and myself went out to D.C. for the Juggalo thing, and then also the Mother of All Rallies. Now, you were banned from speaking there? Is that correct?
Yeah, I was banned from speaking there. And the organizers are so fucking sackless that they won't even admit that they blacklisted me. Everybody knows it. Everybody involved with it, everybody around them, I know it, they know it, but they're going to say, well, he wasn't actually invited. Bullshit.
Neither was Black Lives Matter. Neither was Black Lives Matter, and they let them on the stage.
Right. They kept, their defense was, well, he wasn't invited. He's not entitled to speak. And everybody's like, well, that's not really the point, is it? Of course, he wasn't, entitled to speak. No one has the right to speak at someone else's event. But you deliberately blacklisted Invictus, and then you gave the microphone to Black Lives Matter, to the enemy, to the hostile aggressors that have been physically beating our side of the fence for years.
Yeah, and calling for the murder of cops. I mean, that's they're calling for the murder of cops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just
right. So I've been blacklisted before for talking about civil war and violent revolution. Philosophical or not, like when you are actually advocating killing cops because they are Klan members or white supremacists versus, violent revolution to restore the republic that our founding fathers gave us, like which one is really worse?
Well, I can assure you
naturally, Black Lives Matter, the Marxist message of killing cops is probably a little worse.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can tell you this much. We were at the Mother of All Rallies, and you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
You probably would have reached...
on them. I did get blacklisted.
Yeah, no, you would have reached a bigger audience if you just went on Facebook Live. I can assure you. Unless... The only thing you would have missed was a chance to meet comedian Terry McNeely, so you didn't miss much. And everybody... Now, who was the guy who actually put that together? Because all of these boomer... MAGA people that like hide behind, they all have these monikers like Patriot Biker or Taxidermist for Trump.
Well, his name's Tommy Gunn. His real name's Tommy.
No.
Didn't he lose to Sylvester Stallone
in a parking lot?
In a parking lot.
Bare knuckle brawl.
Yeah, that was like what, Rocky 4 or 5?
Yeah, didn't I? Yeah, he was the boxer that died of AIDS.
Well, he's alive and kicking and giving the mic to Black Lives Matter at this point, I guess.
Well, yeah, and we were there for that. And we were, look, we saw it as a obviously it was, in some way, I do believe that it was a way to deflate the tension and be like, look, it's like, look, if somebody keeps screaming, give me the mic, it's like, I've done comedy for years. Best way to do that is just give the dude the mic, and then they're like, I didn't know anybody was going to give me the mic. And then they go away. You know?
I mean, that's a different setting, though. I mean, if you're talking about a comedy setting, you're talking about an educational setting, okay. But then you have to ask yourself, like, what is the point of a right-wing rally?
Yeah.
Is it to just get together and jerk each other off and have a good time and eat hot dogs? Or is it to demonstrate power to the enemy and show we are a political force to be reckoned with? Because it seems like it's just all fuckboys getting together to, eat cotton candy at this point. And I've canceled all appearances through the end of the year because people have just lost their minds.
And actually, speaking of canceling appearances, that's a perfect segue. Because I don't look. There are plenty of people on the alt-right that Royce and myself have criticized heavily on this show. We have expressed an extreme distrust in our opinions of Richard Spencer. We're a bit wary of Jason Kessler, Heimbach and Parrott. I find them to be a bit off-putting despite their charming demeanors. But one of the things I do like about you, it's kind of separated you from the pack, was you did back out of the March Against Communism, which we were a little vocal about its very poor planning. And did you feel that maybe the mistakes made during the planning would have created like a dangerous situation out there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's besides the whole blacklisting thing and everything that's gone to hell after Charlottesville. Yeah, I mean, the way that the Charlotte rally was going to be organized, I mean, a lot of people thought it was a setup, and it's not, because I've met the kids. I know the guys that are setting this thing up. I know the organizers of the rally. I've met them in person, not just on the internet. And absolutely is not like an FBI setup. But at the same time, if I were to have continued in working with that rally and going to speak at it, I'd have had to insist on taking it over as far as security apparatus is concerned, because, holding it in Charlotte, for one.
Oh, yeah, I've lived there.
Especially in public, on public ground, like there was just, and saying publicly that everybody should bring rifles, and guns.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a poorly executed thing. But I don't hold any ill will toward them. It's just, you learn as you go.
Yeah, no, and that was my only point, was that I kind of gained some cool, Invictus gained some cool points with us, because when we heard he pulled out, and the way he respectfully did it, and he did point out basically, anybody to me that is using a movement or any kind of cult of personality recklessly and is endangering the people that support them, I have zero respect for. So you kind of like, I was kind of like, all right, this dude's all right. At least he's, he's a human.
Yeah, that's actually been one of my biggest points of difference with a lot of the leaders. Not to actually, Spencer is probably one of the best at keeping his own people, in mind when he's thinking of security things. But a lot of leaders of the right wing, they just, they're going to do live streams where they're telling everybody what hotel they're at, and it's like, you don't even think about the fact that you were endangering everyone around you. At this point, like, I live like an urban guerrilla commander. Like, nobody knows where I am. My travel itinerary is randomized. I'm a little extreme with keeping things secure, but, you at least have to give it some kind of thought to the people who are supporting you, that they're on the line too. They're supporting you, so the least you can do is at least consider their safety as well. Don't put people in reckless danger.
Are you? Do you put tape over your webcam?
Yeah, it's definitely taped up.
Yeah.
I'm talking on my phone right now,
it.
but the computer in front of me is definitely taped up.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. I've been reading people saying it doesn't matter. Even if you think you're a nobody, they're saying do that because it's super easy for them to get into your computer and take pictures of you and stuff like that. Yeah, no, that's good.
And the thing is, like, since I was a kid, like, my dad was a lawyer, criminal defense lawyer as well, and that was long before cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
And even back then, like, when they first came out with consumer cell phones for the public, the police could tap your phone and hear everything going on in the room, even in the 90s. So if you think of the technology we have now, police get a wiretap on your phone, they're filming everything around you at all times, and your phone doesn't need to be on. Like, that's how scary it is. So yeah, you need to tape up your damn camera on your laptop at the very least.
I'm assuming you don't have an Amazon Echo then.
No, I do not.
Yeah, I would doubt that. Yeah,
fuck that. We do.
Yeah,
It's
I
awesome.
don't have anything like Alexa, Amazon Echo. Like I use safe browsers. Like I'm really obsessive about security, especially technologically.
Well, also, I mean, you got to be a little more secure too, because I have to say this, and I will declare this. One fact I know 100% about Augustus Invictus is that you have more female stalkers and weird orbiters on the right than anybody I've ever seen on the right. Like, does the missus ever get on your ass about that? Because I've dated Latinas, and they're rarely calm or rational people.
Yeah, the missus has made a mention of it once or twice. Yeah.
Yeah. Who is Princess Sarah?
Right.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows about that chick. She loves her some AI.
Well, as long as Laura Loomer's not bothering you to go to the Deplorable, you'll be all right.
Oh, it's coming.
I don't think Laura Loomer's ever gonna talk to me unless forced to.
I don't think. Same with us. We don't
think that's a problem.
But you know what? She's got this new tactic now. You literally, all you said was her name, and she's probably going to sue you now. That's her new thing. Just threaten everybody with lawsuits. You said my name on Twitter. I'm hiring attorneys. I'm like, you're going to go broke, lady.
Like, there were those warring events in D.C. back in June, and she chose to withdraw from our event because Richard Spencer came on board, and they had their rival event at the White House. And I had talked with her the day before, and she was trying to tell me, like, we're in the National Press Club talking one-on-one, and she's telling me, if you go to this event and speak at this event with Spencer, you are basically implicitly endorsing anti-Semitism. So you need to come out with a statement that denounces anti-Semitism. And I'm like, how is that any different than the Antifa? You know, tell me what I have to say, what I can and cannot say, and what I have to denounce or not denounce. We never talked ever again after that. So
I think you might be better off.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll be stalking me anytime soon after that interaction.
Yeah, Laura Loomer is kind of like the Bloody Mary thing. If you say her name 3 times in a mirror, she appears, but with worse makeup.
Well, I think I've said it twice now, so let's change subjects.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's fair. Now, I actually saw a really interesting. I saw a really interesting video. Now, you had an issue with your YouTube. It got taken down, and I guess you had to make a new one.
Yeah.
And
the Antifa hacked our YouTube account, and there were only 2 people that had the password, me and the internet person for the Revolutionary Conservative. So the only possible way that this could have happened is if someone at Google gave the password to Antifa. So we tried calling Google, tried talking to the help desk. Google's just not interested in talking about it at all. But right now, I'm just re-uploading everything. So there's no getting it back now.
Yeah, I know. He restarted his channel.
Wait, even if you're hacked, they won't put your stuff back up?
No, I can't even contact them. They won't even write us back. We sent a press inquiry, sent a customer support thing. We called different customer support phone numbers for different Google subscriber services or whatever. I asked them, is there a security department or something that cares about the fact that you got hacked? And the guy's like, no, sir. We did not get hacked. You got hacked. I said, yeah, I got hacked on your website. Like, Google got hacked. Who do I talk to that cares about this? He's like, well, there's security somewhere in the back, but they're not going to talk to you. So they just don't care.
You know what the problem is, dude? Is that you don't run a YouTube channel that teaches toddlers that it's okay to have gay sex. If you did that, bro, they would have had you on a priority line. Like, hang on, we'll get this fixed right away.
Really should have gone that route. I'd have a lot of subscribers and a lot more money if I were to do that.
Have you tried being an Armenian genocide denier? That works for the Young Turks.
Yeah,
they get in there quick.
They've never been hacked.
I'll check that out. We'll try that as a marketing strategy.
You never know.
Yeah.
Now, so you're going to be you're running as a Republican this time around. Now, if you think the Libertarians spurged out last time, I don't know if they're going to be very friendly to you in the GOP. You ready for this?
The Libertarian thing is kind of a dry run. All the things we went through, all the slander and the party machinations. That was kind of a warm up. So now we're about to go into the real game.
Yeah, because this is the Republicans. They're going to say you fuck babies and strangle puppies and You know, like they're gonna go. They are really awful. Like the two main parties are really awful, and they have a lot of money. So it's you know, it's I wish you luck, man. I trust me. I want to shake things up, but they are Florida Republicans are that's like California Democrats. Like they're a fucking
Just don't buy an F-150 Super Duty and put a Confederate flag on it and try to run people over like that ad, and I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, I actually had an F-150, and I really regret giving that up now.
Yeah,
Should've
you see?
put that Confederate flag on there.
See, the problem is though, is that the alt-right they'll start some super PAC that this poor guy doesn't even know about, and they'll run the same ad but in a good way. Like they'll be like, "No, this is a good thing. We want this." You'll be like, "Jesus Christ!"
Hey, man,
They'll
I'll take
only
all
run
the-
that ad in Gainesville and Tampa and Ocala. Do not run that in Miami.
Yeah, that's the thing about Florida. It's like 6 different countries in one.
Mhm.
So, you can probably run that ad in North Florida, but definitely not South Florida.
I love this state though. It's the weirdest. It's one of the last places that feels like America. Like it's just nuts, and it really is. Just feels like a mini country.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now after what happened in Puerto Rico, the politics are going to change here big time because a lot of people are moving from Puerto Rico to Central Florida, and that's going to change the state a lot.
That's new. That's like everywhere I grew up in Orlando was Puerto Rican.
Oh yeah,
So,
no, it's still that way, but it's going to be
family
worse.
I married into was Puerto Rican. I don't think that'll change Orlando much.
That's
Might
a
just
very good point.
expand South Orlando a little bit, but we're basically already there.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good. I'm Cuban, so when I was where you lived in South Florida, all the billboards are in Spanish. Everything's in like if you speak English there, you're fucked kind of situation. But but you're right. If you keep driving up a little bit north, you go to Ocala. It's basically certain areas look like South Alabama. So it really is a diverse state, and like you said, Mike, it's a microcosm.
No, I love it.
Yes, major metropolitan areas with the strip clubs and the drugs, and then you drive an hour north and it's all horse farms. It's a weird place. And then there's the swamps, the beaches. I mean, we got everything in Florida. And growing up there, it's like you don't appreciate it. It seems like hell, but then you venture out and you realize when you come back, how beautiful Florida really is.
That's a good point because we went to D.C. where we're like, man, all the new buildings are these postmodern hell. All the buildings look alike now.
Yeah.
Especially like cities like that where it looks like the buildings are basically 3D printed. And you're like, man, there's no individuality
it's
anymore.
a miserable gray glass corporate, just bland, miserable place to live now.
Yeah. It's really, really weird. But here, I did have a question for you because they're going to kick my ass if I don't ask it. You've openly said that you're a fan of some of Ted Kaczynski's philosophies. What did you mean by that?
I can't think of any that I'm not a fan of. I mean,
well, can we say just for one, maybe not the mailing bombs with nails in it to people?
Well, I wouldn't count that as philosophy. I'd count that as a method.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair. That's fair.
I don't agree with that. See, if I have the standing to question someone like Kaczynski, because he's undeniably a genius of a higher order than me, I wouldn't have done that. Like, it seems like his main failing in that particular campaign was his targeting. Because no one, it makes sense logically if you're fighting technologization and industrialization and the rest, that you're going to target computer scientists, professors, airline executives. That makes sense to a mathematician.
Right.
But to the American public, it makes no sense at all. These are just innocent people doing their jobs. So politically, they were bad targets. But philosophically, he was 100% right about everything. Like, if you read Industrial Society and Its Future and you read Anti-Tech Revolution, I challenge anyone to pick a phrase in there that's incorrect. Like, it's all correct.
And that's why I did want to clarify. I know he's not I've just heard him say before, too, that he's a fan of some of his philosophies, not so much as you said the methods. But this is yet another thing that the press tends to jump on, and they'll go, "Oh, he likes the Unabomber." They'll make sure they say Unabomber.
They'll say his name. They'll call him the Unabomber. But
they'll find a picture of you wearing a similar hoodie, with a hoodie and a pair of aviators, and they'll be like, "See,
yeah, exactly. See,
there it is."
It's the Unabomber, right?
You look more like Mr. Robot a little bit.
Yeah,
I think.
actually, good point.
Yeah, but he talks in both books, in ISAIF and in Anti-Tech Revolution, about, this is about revolutionary action. He wrote as Freedom Club to kind of give the impression that he has this large group when he did the bombing campaign, but I think his focus is, revolutionary change by whatever means necessary. And if you're working alone, maybe that makes sense. But if you're actually looking to destroy the technological system, or, just the system generally, that's probably not the best way to go about it. You need organization, and that's what we're trying to do on our end of things.
Yeah, actual consensus instead of just nail bombs in mailboxes. That makes sense.
Well, I don't know about like critical mass consensus, like getting the masses to back you. But I do believe in the vanguard, whether it's Lenin or it's the American founding fathers here. They were only 3% of the country. They gave a damn about independence. So that 3% led the way forward. So I'm not really looking to recruit the masses. I'm just looking to recruit that hardcore that wants to revolt.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, another question for you. Did you really sacrifice a goat?
Yeah, that happened.
Now, when Mike told me that, I'll explain. Mike's like, you sacrificed a goat, but then I go, I'm Cuban, and in South Florida, there's a lot of people called Santeria, which is they.
Well, it's not even just South Florida. I mean, Santeria is up in Orlando too.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm saying that's where I'm from. I'm just going by where I live, and they wear all white, and I have family members that have sacrificed chickens and things, so that's not, to me, wasn't like, I think Hispanic people with that go, yeah, I know, I have a cousin who does that, so it's not. But why did you do it?
It wasn't for Santeria, though I've done a few things in Santeria.
Yeah.
But this was because I had taken a pilgrimage where I walked out from Orlando to the Mojave Desert in California, and then to the Grand Canyon, and then the Kaibab Forest. So I went on this whole expedition where I was just going in the wilderness to pray and fast. And being, a city boy, I didn't expect to survive. Like, I had never even slept outside, I hadn't even gone camping before I took that pilgrimage. So I expected to die, and when I didn't, I came back and sacrificed the goat in Thanksgiving. Like, hey, thanks for getting me out of this mess.
Did you eat the goat? Did you eat the goat?
Can't really get into details, especially since last time I got into a detail, worldwide.
It became a bit of a meme.
Oh no, okay, that's cool. I'm only asking because I have Jamaican friends that have literally killed goats and make jerk goat. Like, that's not a weird thing, especially if you're.
The thing is, everybody's talking about, oh my God, he killed an animal.
So
oh my
what?
God, did you hear he drank the blood of that animal? It's like, how many people have gone hunting? You always drink the blood of the animal.
Yeah,
how many
that is
people are
true.
saying this, having this conversation, while they're eating their fucking bacon cheeseburgers?
Which is no, I know exactly. Like, I had a neighbor who was Jamaican, and they would kill goats and eat curry goat. It's Caribbean island. That's what it's a normal thing. Cuba, that's not a weird.
But it's also
goats are something you eat. It's like cows or chickens or their meat. So it's just an insane hypocrisy. It's just a Christian thing.
Right.
And the thing is, it came from the libertarians, like the Christians in the Libertarian Party, who have a problem with this. And you think, if there's any political party that's going to defend religious freedom, wouldn't it be the libertarians? So the entire episode was just absolutely insane.
But and that's what I don't get. You did it as essentially what was part of somewhat a personal religious ceremonial thing to yourself. Nobody gets hurt. But meanwhile, again, the Libertarian Party is the party that pushed for John McAfee, who was doing coke and shooting guns off his boat for fucking a couple of years in Belize, and then some girl died and he had to come home. And they're like, let's make this guy president.
He murdered somebody in Belize, by the way. I mean, that's a pretty well-known fact. Somehow that's fine, but when you do it and it's religious and it's not a human being, I don't know. That's the thing. People are just completely illogical. They don't actually think these things out. They just react on emotion. So you hear about, oh my God, he sacrificed a goat to Satan. Did you hear about that? And he's a Nazi.
No,
You know,
and
it's like dealing with fucking children on a playground.
But it does sound good in a hit piece ad. I mean, if you're good, you know what I mean? Like, if you're printing up materials and you're working for the other campaign, you're like, I don't know, sacrifice the goat to Satan because he's a Nazi. It fits on the postcard. Can you put horns on him? Get the Photoshop guy in there. Get one of the interns. But no,
there's a lot of those details. Like, you could make hit pieces on me for the rest of the time. But the thing is, like, at this point, people have realized the things that I've actually done that are pretty salacious. Nobody really cares. Nobody cares. So they've just started making things up at this point.
Yeah,
things have been just made out of fucking thin air for a couple of years now, just so nobody knows what to believe anymore.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got fucking, Podesta spear cooking. You got all the Hollywood fucking kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they're like, whoa, wait a minute. What did this guy do with a goat? And
That's
you're
a
like,
really good
I
point.
don't know. From what I know, he didn't fuck the goat. So I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page here that he's
Yeah.
probably still in the high
Hey,
percentile.
after what he did, they didn't have to cancel House of Cards, so that's not.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe maybe the leftists find out about Invictus and they're like, wait, he didn't fuck a kid and then sacrifice the kid? Jesus, he's an amateur. It's never going to make it in this business.
What a weirdo! He sacrificed the goat. Who wants to go spirit cooking?
Now,
Maybe that's it. I just haven't done anything scandalous enough.
That's a good point.
From the media.
Yeah, and I mean, Royce has to bring it up because it is things that are out there. But I mean, we're not trying to like make it a hit. But like, I watched the SPLC interview that you did.
I hate the SPLC.
And I mean, look, fucking props to Augustus Invictus because they were up his ass and he just called him and he's like, sure, I'm in town. I'll meet with you, whatevs. And he fucking, had the foresight to record the whole thing as anybody should if you're going to meet with the SPLC.
And that's exactly why, because if you've read any of the hit pieces that have come out from the SPLC since we did that interview, that's one of the things where I say they just make shit up out of thin air. The SPLC has made a practice of going to every prostitute I've ever known and just reporting anything that they have to say. I even showed this woman when the camera was off. Like, if you've seen the interview, you've seen her asking me about this, that, or the other. And I said, look, after this interview is over, we're going to turn this camera off. I'm going to show you the evidence, and we'll discuss that then. And then I did. After the interview, I showed her everything. She still printed it. So they have absolutely no journalistic integrity. She keeps calling herself a reporter. Clearly not true. That's the joke of the year. But yeah, if you see that article, you see that interview, and then you see the articles that came out after, total farce. And everybody knows it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's me and Royce have joked on almost every episode of the show that one of our goals is to get on the SPLC list.
We're trying really hard.
Because they are essentially clown shoes. Now, if somebody told me, hey, you're on the ACLU's list, I'd be like, okay, maybe I need to dial back my rhetoric a little bit. But like, the SPLC is a joke. At least the ACLU has some consistency. They step in a lot of different freedom of speech affairs. Like the SPLC is
in Charlottesville. I mean, that was nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, and as opposed to the SPLC, where they're like, here's a list of people who aren't Bernie Sanders. Let's call them all Nazis.
It's a communist blacklist. And they don't even make any bones about that fact. It is a blacklist of people these communists are calling Nazis. The fact that anybody, left or right, doesn't see through that is astounding.
Yeah, and it's funny because it still gets brought up to me by people. They're like, oh, yeah, like, he's on the SPLC website. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Exactly. I'm like, I want on that website. You know how well we can market this show after that?
I read this article about him on the Antifa websites. Did you know about this, that, and the other? It's like, yeah, it's on an Antifa website. Does anybody seriously read this shit? I mean, just like you read an SPLC blacklist article and you think, does anybody actually think this is real? It's surreal how many people actually do. And that's why, like I said, I'm not trying to build a mass consensus because the masses are mentally retarded. I mean, anybody who could believe something like an Antifa website or the SPLC, they have to be mentally deranged. So just fuck them.
Yeah, and that's like when you hear,
did you hear Augustus Invictus? He's a domestic terrorist. He's actually, I saw it on an Antifa website, and you're like, yeah, next to an article normalizing pedophilia. Maybe
Right.
consider your source.
And same thing happened like when I went to Canada last year as part of my campaign. Like I did a whole Northwest tour, went into Canada, and the Canadian Border Patrol kicked me out of the country, back to the U.S. And their justification, because someone at Canadian Border Patrol actually told me what happened, because he was friendly to our cause. He read the report and emailed me on an encrypted server. But he said, like, the reason they kicked me out was because the Antifa website said I was a Nazi. And they drilled me for 3 hours. They interrogated me at the border because of the Antifa. People are so stupid that it boggles the mind.
So because a website that has in no way done any real reporting or is in any way of an organization that's tied into the Department of Justice or any sort of, they stopped you from coming in?
And not only that, but this is the website of the same people that the Canadian government knew was trying to assassinate me. They had made public threats of assassination and of starting a riot if I were allowed to speak in Vancouver. Canadian Border Services still went to their website and based their decision off of that. Those are the times we're living in right now.
Yeah, but to be fair, do you know how many sit-ups Prime Minister Sexy in Canada could do?
He's a good-looking guy.
Not as many as me. I'll crunch that guy any day of the week.
I will say, out of everybody on the right, Augustus is one of the guys people always talk about how they're going to punch in the face, and then they always go find a Spencer or a Kessler, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to try him instead."
Yeah, it's funny. Like everybody's got something to say on the internet, but ever since that first assassination attempt, after we changed security procedures, and no one has anything to say in person. So I'm still waiting for that day.
All right, so I have a question. All right, it's 2019, and Augustus Invictus has pulled the biggest upsets since Shane Helms beat The Rock. Senator Augustus Invictus pulls the biggest upset since Shane Helms beat The Rock on SmackDown. What are your first 5 orders of business? Like, what are we getting to right away?
I'd moved to end the Fed, which I'd compromised with an audit the Fed.
You got me there. I'm with you there.
Move to abolish the tax code, abolish the IRS. I just go in with a wrecking ball. As far as top 5, probably implement a non-interventionist foreign policy. Whatever war is going on at the time, probably try to end that business. Moratorium on immigration. I'd say those are probably the top orders of business.
Wow. So, yeah, you obviously, you heard it here first, folks. Absolute white nationalist, terrorist Nazi.
who wants basically the same thing fucking Ron Paul
That's the same
did.
thing Ron Paul, I was going to say, that's the same thing Ron Paul wants.
Will you think you'll hang out with Rand if you're up there? I don't know anybody else you could really have a conversation with.
I'd hang out with Rand in a heartbeat. I don't think he'd talk to me, though, in his career. But, yeah, I like Rand Paul a lot.
I don't think
you know who doesn't? His neighbor.
Oh, yeah, so I heard. 6 broken ribs.
6
lawn clippings. You know, the Washington Examiner came out with a piece where they actually talked to the neighbors, and neighbors are saying, not politically motivated, total horseshit.
It has to be.
About lawn mowing, absolutely not. His yard is pristine. So obvious, and they hadn't talked in years. So this whole media cover-up is just one of those things where you just throw up your hands. You say, what do you even do about that?
Yeah, I read an article from somewhere that said, I was one of those fucking leftists that said Rand Paul was a terrible neighbor, like kind of saying that he deserved
that was
to get
GQ.
GQ, that's what it was. Gentleman's Quarterly. Decided this, by the way, the same Gentleman Quarterly that had to redact and apologize because they said, why did Trump call for the death penalty on the Muslim terrorist but not the Vegas shooter? Because the Vegas shooter's dead, assholes.
I saw that too. They were like, we regret having published that. I'm like, I'm sure you did.
Of course you did.
Look, I just wish, fucking ESPN would go back to giving me box scores. GQ can go back to telling me what slacks are going to be hot this summer.
Yeah.
And just shut the fuck up.
Oh, that was a job.
Yeah. I'm going to help you out in your campaign. Have you tried the Olbermann strategy? Wrap yourself in an American flag and look like you're pouting on the floor.
What a baby.
Yeah. I'm sure that book sold more than any book I've ever written. So
Which
clearly
is sad.
He's got it figured out.
Which is sad.
Yeah, but they're all sitting on tables in doctors' offices and, in country clubs where people want to look smart. Nobody's reading it.
There's a stack of 100,000 of them right outside of the screen in his home studio.
Yeah.
Just up Fucking top of the top.
I'm saying, I'll put it this way. Look, I'm sure Keith Olbermann's books probably shipped more than yours have, but I don't know if they're flying off the shelves.
Being read, I don't know if anybody's actually reading them. But if he does have those stacks in his home, I mean, that'd be a good place for us to start our Nazi book burnings.
Yeah, that's very, very
Look
good
at
point.
the silver lining here.
I mean, it's 2017. We're going to just have to burn tablets. I don't even know how that works now. So look,
That's fine. Kaczynski would be proud.
Yeah, the irony that his manifesto is getting passed around on a website. God damn it! This isn't what I wanted. But now look, you got the campaign. Obviously, you're working on that. You're all constantly on the road, and you have the fireside chats, Daily Planet, Revolutionary Conservative. You don't drink. Like, do you ever fucking relax? Like, what do you just do to decompress and shut off for a little bit?
I think I relaxed sometime in 2015.
Jesus.
No, I don't have vacations. I like gym time is relaxing to me. I'll have family movie time. That's
nice.
Relaxing with my son. Like, family time is basically my off time. I don't really do anything but work and be with the family. Yeah, I don't drink. I basically live as a monk. So, I think it's the better for it.
All right. Well, can I just give one piece of advice? If and when the time comes and you win, just a champagne toast. You know what I mean? You don't have to go nuts with it. Just a nice little sip.
I'll agree on that. Yeah, I could see that as being celebratory. Yeah, we'll do that.
And after that, that's it. But
what if he just becomes like Peter Russo in House of Cards? From one sip of champagne, he just becomes a mess. You're like, oh man, I did this.
I was just kidding.
I was just telling him to loosen up a little bit.
I'm dead in the car, and I'm writing you guys a thank you note to be found in the glove box.
Oh, this is awesome. This has been like the most fun
That was
interview
great,
ever.
man.
I really had a play. What else do you want to promote, man?
Yeah, anything
Tell
you
them
wanna
all.
promote?
They've got a lot of people listening right now.
The thing I'm trying to promote the hardest right now, we've got the Daily Planet at the Revolutionary Conservative, and that's like the daily broadcast. I've got Guerrilla Radio, which is like our weekly podcast where we talk about revolution and revolutionary tracts and things like that. But the Daily Planet I do every day, and I go through the fake news to kind of teach people what propaganda is and what is real and what is not. And so apparently nobody knows that show exists. So we live stream it every day at 8 o'clock on Facebook, 8 a.m. And I also put it on YouTube. So, if you hadn't heard of it, I do put a lot of time into that. So that's what I'm kind of promoting right now.
Awesome. And can we get one of them Invictus for Senate signs?
Yeah, we'll put it in my yard. I will put it in my yard.
I want one in the studio too. So
And in
two
the studio.
sides. I need one on the behind me on the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could probably arrange that.
Awesome.
Maybe drive out to Davenport to give them to you.
There you go. That'd
Boom.
be awesome.
Look at that, hanging out with the man himself.
Hey, man, thank you so much for being on. We appreciate your time. We know you're very, very busy.
Sure, man. Thank you guys for having me. I love the show.
Absolutely.
So,
Thanks, dude. We
keep it
appreciate it.
running. Keep it running. I saw the intermission ads too.
Yeah.
Just gold.
Thanks,
Gold.
dude. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
That's awesome, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Thank you
so
guys.
much.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Yes, folks.
You too.
Your future senator from the state of Florida, Augustus Soul Invictus. That is not. We're not going to top that really today.
No, I didn't. That's why I wanted to. I think it's about time to do
We're
a
gonna-
little bit of shilling
We're
here.
going to shill, and we're going to go right off into the sunset.
Yeah. Patreon.com/We're Not Sorry. That's how you could help us out.
Yeah,
All right?
PayPal.me as well /
One-time donation.
Subscribe, rate us on iTunes, and RevengeOfTheSys.com. It may be up and running tonight.
Yeah.
And Roku is official, bitches.
Okay, and by the way, can I say I know it's really annoying to rate things on iTunes because I do it and I fucking hate it.
a pain in the ass.
Listen, I get it. I fucking get it. I hate doing it. I do. But understand something. Every time you guys do it, I'm seeing how many people are listening live now. If everybody listening live right now went to iTunes and rated us, we would be probably in the top of comedy.
Yeah, seriously, all right? Shapiro and Crowder are selling enough fucking mugs,
Yeah,
all right?
We're not going to
Help
give
your
you
boys
mugs.
out.
Yeah, help your boys here, all right? Shapiro has a mansion, and his wife's a doctor. all right?
Seriously, if you've seen Shapiro's wife, he's
Yeah.
doing fine.
He's
Give
doing
us a
good.
couple of bucks.
Help us out. Although we would love to have him on the show. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, just at ROTC Media on Twitter, at Mersh, at Hippojuice, Hippojuice Film rather.
Yeah.
And vote Invictus for Senate. I'm campaigning for this. It's Republican, so I can vote for him in the primaries.
That's right. So can I. The TCR, thank you again for the music. We really, really appreciate it. You fucking rock, dude. We will be back tomorrow with
Angelique Bates from All That. We're going to talk some Nickelodeon.
See you guys.